everybody. My name is David Johnston. I'm the founder of Transcend Admissions Consultants. We founded in 2010, and over this time, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of MBA and MS applicants get into top business schools. And I'd like to introduce one of our clients today, Jon Chen. Jon recently applied to the Yale Master in Advanced Management program. He's also an MBA graduate from HKUST in Hong Kong, and he's had a really interesting career, and we're really glad to have him because I think he has a lot of wisdom and experience to share about business school and career and life. So thanks for being here, Jon.
Thank you, David. So basically, yeah, as you mentioned, I studied in HKUST MBA before, and this year I'm going to Yale MAM program. So I will say probably I'm someone who joined the business school even twice, or even my undergrad. I studied in NCKU, also in major in business. So I might be someone who really like business and this kind of education. So I might be the expert here.
Yeah, I think this will be your third business degree, right? You have an undergraduate related business degree, an MBA. Now you're going to get a third management degree. So what we can surely say about Jon is that he loves to learn and he's very curious, intellectually curious. But Jon, I'd like to go the whole way back to like the beginning of your career. You actually had a very interesting job. After you graduated from college, you went to China to work for a unique joint venture in the agriculture industry.
Yeah.
And like, I think from talking to you, I know that you got a lot of management responsibility way back in the early stage of your career. What do you think is like the most important thing you learned back there in the first couple of years of your career?
Yep, I think for my first job, when I started my career at 2009, because at that time it was financial crisis, so a lot of company in Taiwan, they didn't have a chance for me to join them because the economy wasn't really good at Taiwan. But at that time, I think China economy wasn't impacted so much. So at that time, I decided to start my career in China, join a joint venture company between a Taiwanese and US company. So I start my career as a manager over there. I think I'm the last generation of Taiwanese manager in a Taiwanese company in China. Yeah, so that's why I moved there and I got this opportunity. And I think the biggest experience I have learned from that is, being a young leader. So imagine that I was only 23 and I need to manage a small sales team, because in a factory, you need to manage everything. So everything. So basically I need to help my general manager to manage a small sales team. And all the salespeople, they are like more than 35 or even 40. So I need to, pretend I'm old, I need to pick up the knowledge, the animal science knowledge quickly. And then I need to influence them, to teach them how to sell things more efficiently by utilizing the data, by building some, data from my clients. So basically we use Excel to collect the data from the local dairy farmers. And then, yeah, I think in general, the experience really gives me to demonstrate my leadership and also demonstrate my data skill or number skill in the very, very beginning of my career. So I would say that's the biggest part I have learned.
I like what you said, that you developed an old mindset, Jon. That's an interesting way of putting that. But I think back then it's interesting that you got a lot more responsibility at an early stage of your career, and that will usually only happen at a smaller company or a startup. So reflecting back on it, what do you think is better if you had the choice? Much more responsibility at a smaller kind of unknown company, or maybe less responsibility but at a famous company? What do you think the choice you would make is now?
I think it really depends, right? So when I was young and I really enjoy, doing something bigger in a smaller company. So that's why I decided to, went to China, go to China and, establish a company for this joint venture, and then have a bigger responsibility for to manage people as well. but eventually, I think in different stage, I might have different mindset, right? So when I moved to Hong Kong for my MBA, and I realized, wow, maybe it's a time for me to take to take challenges in a bigger corporate organizations, and then do maybe smaller project, but really know the business, know the details, and learn the basic skills. So I think it really depends on the different career stage. And now for me, because I'm more matured and I already experienced these two directions, so I'm looking for something big in some bigger organizations. So I think, I mean, if your direction is going to a bigger company and do some bigger project, I think either way may also can help you to go to the same destination. So, but just really, you really need to know what really you really want, and how to work it out and work toward the direction. I think that's all you need.
I think you guys out there who don't get your dream job at the most famous company, you can be optimistic, because they may be at a smaller company, you might learn more, and you still may have a path forward to where you want to go, whether it's an MBA or maybe another job. So don't give up, don't lose hope that you might not get to your goal if you don't reach it immediately, okay? But John, after a couple of years, you made that decision to pursue an MBA. Can you give me some insight into what you were thinking back then and why you realized that you wanted to get an MBA?
Yeah, just as I mentioned earlier, I think because I always work at that time I work for a smaller company with a bigger scope, and then I want to try to go into a more competitive market, which is Hong Kong, right? So that's why I decided to do my MBA, because I want to prove myself could also be successful in a bigger organization. So that's why I think I should go to a more international city and compete with other professionals in Hong Kong, and then get into a bigger organization. So that's also one of the reasons I want to move to Hong Kong. And because Hong Kong is also an international city and it's close to Taiwan. So that's also a reason I want to explore Hong Kong more. And the living environment is quite good. It's convenient for traveling, and then tax rate is super low. So I was quite enjoying, the income, and I want to make more money. There's also a true reason as well. So that's why I decided to join an MBA to get a salary increase, to get into a more competitive job market. That's my plan.
And you did apply to some top US MBAs too. You even got admitted to Duke, for example, a very famous and competitive program. But in the end, you chose HKUST. I think you gave us a little bit of insight into what you were thinking, but maybe you can give us a little bit more about how you made that choice.
Yeah, I think in different time, in different period of time, the US visa policy might be different, right? So during my age at that time, I think it's very difficult for business student to secure a job in the US, because we might only have 1 year OPT at that time. So that's also one reason I was really concerned about, because if I don't get a job within a year, or even I get a job after the year, I need to do lucky draw. But if I don't get it, I will be kicked out from US, right? And I have been in China and also Hong Kong. So I have been in China for a while. I am really familiar with China market. So I know maybe stay in Asia, stay within China, I can have better opportunity, and to really get more money, survive, and make my career have better progression as well. So that's a true reason I want to stay in Asia. And also the other reason is budget, because at that time a lot of US program, they might only have 2-year programs, right? So basically, but for HKUST, it's only 1.5 year program, and only cost me half of the price of a normal US 2 years MBA program. So budget is also the reason I'm doing in Asia as well.
Okay, that's a very practical way of thinking. And I think it worked out for you. And I believe you really did have a great experience at HKUST. Maybe you can tell us something you really like about this program.
Yeah, I think first of all, the program is really international. So during my year, we have around 100 students from 39 nationalities. So I think 97% will be international student, which means we only have 3 Hong Kongese.
Mm,
And even for the 3 Hong Kongese, they might, study in Canada for long, or they just
they're
move back to
international
Hong
too.
Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, our program is very diversified, and you get a chance to know everyone because it's a smaller group, smaller program as well. So, and we all live in a dormitory, and the dormitory is just a whole building, and people just, come to the living room and chat, every night, every day, and we do the homework together, and we travel to LKF to drink every night as well, enjoy the party in the central of the city. And we do a lot of things together. And every weekend, we might just go, another country. Like I always visit my friends' family in Philippines or in Thailand. So it's really good chance for me to explore Asia more with, this very diversified group of people. Yeah, so
Mm.
it actually bring a lot of happiness for me and a lot of good memories as well.
All right. Sounds like a big family there.
Yeah.
And maybe you could share a little bit of insight with us, just something that about the program we might not find by looking at the website or listening to an info session. Is there a little like insiders information you can give us?
Of course, because now, I just applied for the Yale MAM program. So this is a very insider information because I guess only 2 of the Taiwanese get into the Yale MAM program at this point of time. So
Mm,
basically, we have a really good relationship with Yale, especially Yale MAM program. So if you graduate from HKUST MBA program, and if you went to job market for a few years, and you realize, oh, maybe I should pursue another degree, or maybe you just want to do 2 programs together without any gap,
back
that's
to
fine
back.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, back to back. So I think the Yale MAM program plus HKUST MBA, which is a really good combination for business education. For example, you can study in the best school in Asia, and then you can probably go to the best school in the US after your graduation from HKUST. And this is not really covered in our website or our info section because it's still quite competitive as well. I mean, even you graduate from HKUST, it's not guaranteed like you can get into Yale as well. But if you study in HKUST, you might have a bigger chance or higher chance to get into Yale versus someone, went into the program which is not close to Yale. So I think that's something it didn't say on the website, but I really enjoy this benefit from my home school. And then I'm going to my next journey with Yale as well.
Okay, to clarify, the Yale MAM is Master in Advanced Management, and it is a program you can only apply to if you went to one of their partner schools. And HKUST is one of the partner schools for this program.
Yep.
Another thing, you're really involved in being an ambassador for HKUST. Maybe you want to talk about that. You've put a lot of time into being the alumni ambassador, right?
Yeah, because I think our school actually really welcome Taiwanese student because in terms of cultural difference, Taiwan, Hong Kong is quite similar, and then also I think the school really welcome Taiwanese because they can really help the Taiwanese to secure the job in Hong Kong. It's quite easy. And it's quite convenient for Taiwanese to travel back and forth, from Taiwan to Hong Kong. Before the pandemic, imagine that I might only spend 3 hours from my Hong Kong apartment to my house at Tainan. It's only 3 hours. So if I got a job in Taipei, I might take 2 hours to go home, right? But if I get a job in Hong Kong, it still only take me 3 hours. So it's really convenient for Taiwanese, to have a life in Hong Kong. And it's super convenient for school to help the Taiwanese to secure a job as well, because you can speak Mandarin and you can speak English, and then you went there for a really good school name, a brand name over there. So I think that's why I want to promote our school in Taiwan, because I can see a lot of my classmates or even my future followers or even future Taiwanese who join our school, they actually secure a job in Hong Kong, and their salary actually increase, sometimes double or sometimes even more. So I am really happy about this school can really help the Taiwanese, to grow their career in Hong Kong. So that's the reason I really promote it.
When a lot of MBA programs like to say, how can you contribute to our community? They're talking about stuff like this, being an ambassador. And, John's really helped introduce a lot of people to the school, and I think to jobs as well. So this is the type of thing they're talking about, being a strong contributor. And maybe you can talk a little bit about what you've been doing after your MBA. You've had a couple jobs now.
Yep. Yeah, as what I have planned earlier, what I mentioned earlier, I want to join to a more competitive market. So that's why I want to stay in Hong Kong, and then I want to, go to a bigger organization like multinational company or global company, right? So I started my career in Hong Kong. After MBA, I joined a global company called Reiki Benkise. The famous brand they own is called Durex. So it's a fast-moving consumer good company. And then I really enjoy working there. The working path is really fast. And then the workout is super long as well. It's typical Hong Kong officer, office life. And then at that time, I start to, deal with a lot of data, especially sales data. So I was a business analyst over there. And then I joined the leadership program. So they really give me a really good, training, and also help me to be successful in my role. And then after 2 years, I get another chance. And, in Hong Kong, it's always so crazy. So they will just increase your salary by 20% or even more to, to ask you to join. So that's why I decided to leave, and I joined another famous company called Dyson. So I have a bigger scope. So I manage 2 markets, Hong Kong and Taiwan, in finance team. And then I also do a lot of business analytic projects as well. So I deploy Power BI and dashboard, and also deploy some data warehouse for Dyson Hong Kong and Taiwan. And then I was promoted to a manager level at that time. And also I was invited to a global data forum from the Dyson headquarters. So so it's an interesting industry as well. It's kind of luxury plus electronic consumer goods, and we spend a lot of marketing, and we set the price higher, and consumers still like it, still want to buy. So, and I can see the data as well. So it's really interesting. And then I moved to the industry I really like. So the last job I have in Hong Kong is Sony Picture Entertainment, which we produce a lot of famous movies, such as like Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man. We really get a really good box office. And now, I think in general, the company is doing really well. And then I super like movies, and I can see a lot of data like Google Play, iTunes, and I design some dashboard for them to monitor the daily transactions and help us to do more efficient promotion as well. So so basically I stay in consumer goods and then entertainment, and then my main function will be finance plus a bit of data science. So that's what I have been doing for the past 8 years in Hong Kong. 8 years in Hong Kong.
So you've had some diverse experiences there. And looking back at the MBA, how do you think your education at HKUST helped you in these experiences and kind of boosted your performance?
Yeah, I think I can separate into 2 parts. First of all, the hard skill. So I actually have learned a lot of hard skill in HKUST. For example, like accounting, like finance. I mean, I refine my accounting skill again and again, because always, you have something to learn as well, right? So I refine my corporate finance, accounting skill, and all the number skill again after I graduated from university, maybe after 5 years, and I have the chance to go to the HKUST, and I refine again and again. That's the first part. And the second part will be, I think the one area I have improved a lot is something like presentation skills. So during my MBA life, I joined a lot of case competition. I even represent our school to join a case competition which held by the Wharton Business School. So I went to New York and joined a case competition and present in front of all the big hats from the Wall Street. So at that time, I really polished my presentation skill. I practiced day and night with my professors, with my teammates, and with my classmates in school. And I think it really helped me for my future career in Hong Kong, because if you are really good at number, and plus you can really do good presentation, then which is really valuable in the job market. So that's also something I want to mention, like MBA can also benefit a lot or teach you a lot about your soft skill as well.
I think you'll hear a lot of top managers say you need a strong combination of hard and soft skills. And I think John's making that very clear, that he got both from his MBA education, and that they were really both very valuable for him over the last 8 years.
Yes.
And in the last
still
job,
learning as well.
Of
still
course,
learning.
You have to be a lifelong learner, and
yeah,
no matter what, things are changing so fast today.
Yeah.
But in your most recent job, like you mentioned, you were at Sony Pictures Entertainment doing financial planning and analysis. I think working in the entertainment industry is a kind of unique. It's not the biggest industry in the world, but it can be very interesting for some people. So maybe for people who are curious about this industry, do you have advice for them about maybe should they go for it or not? Or if I want to launch a career in the industry, maybe what should I do, or how should I think about this?
Yeah. Okay. So in general, I think this industry is booming. So why? Because I think for the past 10 years, there's a super famous a series of movies called Marvel, right? Superheroes. So actually, if you look at the historical data, the box office every year, before 2019, because of the pandemic, right? But before that, you can see this is the best time for entertainment, for movie company. And so I think in the future, still, the movie industry is going to the right direction, and it will become more and more popular in the future as well. If we can still see a lot of economy, like new economics, right? Like India or like Southeast Asia. So even for the business I manage in Asia, I can see a lot of demands from India and from Southeast Asia, and also from China as well. So I think in the future, the industry will be still good. But I would say because of the pandemic, the structure might be slightly different, right? Because before, people get used to go to a movie theater to watch a movie. But nowadays, people like to stay at home, watch Netflix, or just buy movie from Google Play. We don't buy the DVD anymore. We just rent the movie online, and then we watch Netflix, we watch Disney Plus. More and more players come into the streaming industry to compete with each other. So I think in the future, the industry will become more data driven, because a lot of people watch movie online. So we can quickly know what kind of movie our consumer really like. And we can do a lot of new movie based on these kind of like data science. We can improve the content. We can make our movie become more popular as well based on the reviews, right? So I believe in the future, data science will be extremely important in this industry, and the industry will be still doing good for the next like 5 or 10 years. That's what I thought.
Okay, so yet another example of how analytics and data science may help you launch a career. It could help in this industry a lot too, as well as a lot of others. And I think something John and I have talked about a lot when we were working on his Yale application is that in his career, in his last few jobs, he's helped make all of his companies more data-driven. And that was like one of the biggest impacts he's made. So especially like you've always been in like the financial planning, the corporate finance function, John. How do you think like becoming more data driven helps in a finance function in a big company?
Yep. I think this kind of trend especially in consumer goods, I think I think the main reason will be because of nowadays we have a lot of online shops and we have a lot of like e-commerce. So that's why suddenly the whole business becomes so data driven, because we can see each transaction happening on the digital world, right? So for example, when I was in Dyson, we have a Dyson Direct store on like Dyson.tw on the website, and you can go there to buy a vacuum cleaner and ship to your place within 3 days or 5 days, right? And for me, I can immediately see the transaction, see the sales, see the revenue coming through to the data point, to the database, even to the finance system within 1 day. So I can really make a quick forecast for the incoming months or for the next few days revenue forecast. And also I can quickly revise my promotional plan. If I figure out, okay, our promotion doesn't work, probably we'll do more discount. Or if we can figure out, okay, our product is almost out of stock, we can ask the supply chain to help us to get more vacuum cleaner from Singapore. Right. So basically, I think nowadays, because due to the e-commerce, so everything becomes so quick, and all the transaction you can see immediately after it happened. So I think as a finance guy, in order to make the better forecast and also better planning, I think data science will be one of the area for the finance people to take care of in the future as well.
And you also mentioned that some of these organizations you were part of were not really data driven. Like, some companies are, it's in their DNA, a lot of tech companies, but a lot of companies aren't. And you were kind of like a pioneer at some of these companies. Like, how do you think you do that for someone who wants to make their team more data driven? How do we even start that? Because other people sometimes resist that, right? And they say, hey, let's do it the way we've been doing. It's fine, right? If it's not broken, we don't need to fix it. So do you have advice for people who are trying to achieve that?
So basically, that's also an experience I have in my past few jobs in Hong Kong. So I think in order to push these data projects to make the project more efficient or more easy for people to understand, I will not try to do all the things at once. I will try to do it slowly. I mean, not slowly, but in a smaller scope. So I will say, if we do this project, I can save some of your time, because even without this project, you still need to spend a lot of time to manage your database. We still get the data from different clients, and before we always save it in a folder with all the Excel files, which my young specialists, they might take 1 or 2 days, to consolidate the data, to clean the data, or even to, spend another day to make some analysis. So I propose to Lance, I say, maybe we should use the database, we should use this dashboard, which can really save you at least 1 day for all the data cleaning job, making your life easier. And then after that, so I can start to pitch to the sales team, okay, using this tool, it might be easier for you, to understand what happened in the market, and it might save your time as well, to analyze from the Excel, or to do some business strategy based on your experience, which sometimes might be right, but sometimes might be wrong, and you don't have anything to support your strategy. So once if you have this dashboard, and you can use a dashboard and combine with your business mindset, you can come out really good insight and really help the business become better, and you get more bonus based on your performance as well. So I try to make sure the strategy is a win-win strategy, and make everyone happy about the project, and help them to make life easier and make more money. I think that's a really important point if you want to push your data project.
That sounds like a really smart approach, John, and I think it worked. And I think a part of that was you also like became a visualization expert yourself, you learned Tableau and you were able to use that in your work. So how did you become like an expert in Tableau, first of all?
Well, because I always want to help the young student or young generations, because I experienced the same thing before, right? So when I was young, I tried to learn Excel during my college, and not a lot of professors teach Excel at the time. So I need to learn it from someone else, like someone already have some experience in a busy environment, and we need to ask them to come back to the school to teach us. We need to invite the alumni who have this experience to teach us, so we cannot rely on the professors, right? So because a lot of technology happening, and not a lot of school they can quickly adapt into this and then have a resource for students. So that's why I really want to teach something new in the job market and teach the undergrads or young professionals to equip them to be better prepared for the job market. So like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I realized, wow, Tableau, this tool is really good, and I can imagine in the future the data visualization will be one of the important skill on the job market. So I start to teach, and of course in the beginning only like 10 or 20 students, and I teach it for free, and then eventually the class size become bigger and bigger. So I was like, oh wow, okay, that's a big trend now. So even now I have class around 40 or 50, or even a lot of company invite me to do the job training for them. So I always want to help people to let the organization become more efficient, and also help them to get a better job. So that's why I'm really enjoying the teaching.
So basically a must-have skill. Is that what you're saying? Not nice to have, but must-have?
Well, I would say, I would say it's a skill. If you have this skill, you do have a competitive advantage in job market, especially if you can plus your original skill set like marketing, right, or finance, or even supply chain, then you will become more valuable in the job market as well, right?
And I know right now John's helping a lot of people because he's kind of enjoying this time in between his job and his next graduate program, being a teacher. And I know he's helping a lot of people right now upgrade their skills, and it's great to see that. And as we mentioned a couple times, in the next step, you're going to go to the Yale MAM program and continue your studies for a year. Maybe you can talk a little bit about why you made this decision and why you really wanted to enter this program.
I think, to be honest, I think I have two reasons, but which I might not say the answer to the admission team, because sometimes it might be personal reason or a better reason for school. So I'm talking about my personal reason first, right? For me, because I already work in Hong Kong for long, right? So I look at the map. China, I have been here, Beijing, Shanghai, I have been working there before, and Hong Kong, I spent 8 years over there. And what's the next destination for me? I look at Singapore. Okay, during pandemic, okay, visa seems very impossible for non-locals. So I was thinking, yeah, maybe US, but US, you might need to have the visa as well. And I look at okay, if I go there for a school, maybe they can provide me a student visa, which can allow me to work there for a few years. It might be a good plan. So I start to look at all the program around, and then I talk to some of my friends, like A2, like your student as well, Adrian. So they actually give me this good information about the Yale MAM program. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's designed for post-MBA students. Am I too old for that? So I wrote an email to school. So did you guys like someone, have already left the school
guy?
for a while. Yeah, old guy. They say, yeah, we welcome talents. So I'm the old talents. I might give it a try. Yeah, so that's my personal reason. And I think second reason will be because I really want to go back to school, because I think the business world is very different from before. Just as what we discussed earlier, all the data science stuff, suddenly become so popular. And during my MBA, there is no subject called data science at 2013, right? So I learned the data science by myself. I learned all the softwares by myself. And I really want to go back into school and, not even learning data science, because data science now is trendy, right? I might need to learn more about the future trendy skill, like the Web3 concept, like NFT, Bitcoin, this kind of investment. So, and also I might want to explore more about, how to start up a business, because that's something I miss for the past of my, career experience. So I might want to look at all of this entrepreneurship and also this new trending technology as well. So that's the second reason I want to go. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're really open to learning, and I think this program is very flexible, and you have a chance to really create your own curriculum, right? So it's great to see you have this attitude. And by the way, congratulations. I think you mentioned before they only admitted 2 people from your school, and I think there was quite a few people who applied. So this is a great accomplishment.
Well,
Really.
I mean, two people from my school also Taiwanese. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people from my school went there. So yeah.
Okay, only 2 Taiwanese from HKUST. Let us clarify that.
Yeah.
But still a great accomplishment. I think it was very competitive. And I hope you have a great experience next year.
Yep.
And for those of you, you may have noticed John may look familiar to you. You may even be a member of his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel, JonJon MBA, I think just recently got its 100,000th like or fan. So congratulations to you on that, John.
Thank you.
How have you been able to build up such a big following in a short time?
Well, I think I will say I'm lucky, because I think me and my partner, we established a channel like 2.5 years ago, and at that time is during pandemic. So I work in the entertainment industry, so I realized, wow, a lot of movie cannot be in a theater soon, and a lot of professional sports cannot be TV soon as well. So I know there might be a gap of entertainment, of videos, of content. So I start to produce some videos.
You're filling that gap.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a professional, I'm not a person who can really entertain someone, but I can share my insight, right? So we try to, establish an educational YouTube channel, because we also figure out on the YouTube channel, there are a lot of something just for fun, but there are not a lot of things, for real. For real business, for education, or for serious stuff. And I can see this is also a trend, because now, even for me, I learned a lot of things from YouTube. Learn how to cook from YouTube, learn how to do some sports on the YouTube as well, especially during pandemic. So I think education will be a trending topic, a huge topic in the future for online platform as well. And then especially I went for my MBA for a while, and I have a lot of friends who have the same experience. And I think before in Taiwan, we don't have enough information for MBA education. So we always, especially in the south part of Taiwan, I think from your experience, maybe among your students, maybe only 20% from the south, right? Mostly will be in Taipei, or in the north part of Taiwan. So that's also what I feel. If we can have an online channel, even if you live in a remote area, even you live in a mountainside, you can still watch YouTube, and you can still, know what's MBA, and you might have a soul like, oh, maybe I should give it a try. Even John can do it. I can do it as well, right? So that's our original purpose of like why we want to launch this channel, because we want to encourage more young talents to go abroad, to unlock their potential, to make better themselves. Yeah. So that's the beginning.
Well, it's great that you've been able to share so much information, and I think you've inspired a lot of people. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And as you just mentioned, you're from Tainan. I think you're back in Tainan now for the longest time. You've been in Hong Kong for many years, and now you're back home for the first time for more than a week or two for many, many years. So
yeah.
And Tainan's really famous for food, right? So what was the first food that you ate when you came back that you need to have?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they have different, I would say, preference in terms of food in Tainan. I personally really like the beef soup, for sure. The beef soup is huge, but everyone like different brand name of the beef soup, and I like the one near my place. And I think secondly, I think there is another, I don't know English name, it's 锅烧意面. That's kind of like noodles with a lot of different like hot pot stuffs, and I like this as well. And I also drink a lot of bubble tea as well. I mean, bubble tea is popular in Taiwan in general, but every time I come back to Taiwan, beef soup, bubble tea, and all these street foods, I really enjoy it the most.
And I think you're really enjoying yourself lately, teaching, enjoying the food. So welcome home. I hope you enjoy the next few months before you start the next stage of your education journey.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
But really, thanks for being here, John. It's been a pleasure talking to you and working with you. And we can't wait to see what happens in the next stage of your career. And I'm sure you'll share it a little bit on your YouTube channel as well. So
of course.
We'll look out for that.
Of course. Thank you, David. You are the best consultants for Yale, I believe, as well. You already have 2 students get into MMA program, so you are the expert of this program.
Yeah, I hope we have a few more. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, John. Take care.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.